Welcome to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe from the studios of our flagship stations, 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV, on Comcast, Channel 15, and AT&T Channel 99, where you can also find us in the Birmingham-Bloomfield area, on Birmingham Area Municipal Access, and on City Cable 15 in Southfield. Join us live on Channel 10 in Waterford every day in the media network of Waterford, and live to tape on Channel 10 in Orion Township and Lake Orion on Orion Neighborhood Television, where television is vacation. You can also find us on the radio, usually in the Birmingham, Bloomfield, and Troy areas on 88.1 The Biff, a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District. They are not with us on today's edition of the Megacast because they have started broadcasting for a full 24 hours, non-stop programming, non-stop on-the-air personalities for their annual Biff Stock, which is their annual fundraiser. 24-hour broadcast began at 7 a.m. today, and it will end on at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. It's their annual fundraiser. It helps to raise money for all different kinds of radio station enhancement expenses and things throughout the year, such as equipment repairs, events for the young broadcasters to go to meet some new people and network within the industry and learn more about the industry. It really is a great fundraiser. To learn more information, you can go to WBFH.FM. That's their website, WBFH.FM, or find them on social media, places like Twitter on @TheBiff881. That is @TheBiff881. Find more information about 881 The Biff and how you can donate to support the Biff's radio program there at Bloomfield Hills High School in the Bloomfield Hills School District. You can also find our show online on our Facebook pages at Civic Center TV 15 and at Lakes FM, on our website at civiccentertv.com, and on My Michigan TV, or MyMy, at mymytv.com. I'll spell it out for you, MYMI-TV.com, where you can also learn more about downloading their free MyMyTV apps for your smartphones and smart TVs. All of that information on our partnering stations and more on our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll also find all of our programs on demand, including each individual interview. You can watch our full 2-hour show, or you can watch each individual interview as you choose and as those topics pertain to your interest levels or your daily life. Then let's head over to our news page, civiccentertv.com/local news, where we have links to the most up-to-date information on COVID-19 from reliable expert resources at the CDC, the MDHHS, and the Oakland County Health Division, in order to keep you updated on everything that you need to know about the spread of COVID-19 in our community here in Oakland County and in surrounding areas, as well as precautionary tactics you may need to employ at the office, maybe even at home, out in public, and especially in those indoor places, as well as more information on where you can get vaccinated and get your booster shot, not only in Oakland County, but all throughout the state of Michigan and all throughout the country as well. Also on our news page at civiccentertv.com/local-news, we feature articles from many outlets throughout the state of Michigan in order to keep you updated on not only COVID-19, but other stories making headlines all across the Great Lakes state. Our top story today from Mark Hicks and Jennifer Chambers of the Detroit News, as Oxford High School seniors celebrate a bittersweet graduation. They say, "We have held each other up." In the months after the Oxford High School shooting, supporters often returned to the inspirational mantra, "Oxford Strong." They touted the resiliency of the students, staff, and families, proudly called members of the Oxford Wildcat family. In addressing the graduating class of 2022 on Thursday night, senior speaker Kylie Osage, who spent more than a month hospitalized after being wounded in the November 30th mass shooting at the high school, urged her classmates and the community to consider those trying times as underscoring their identity. Quote, "When I think of an Oxford Wildcat, I think of being strong. Being strong means that one is able to withstand great force or pressure," the teen said during the commencement ceremony. Continuing on, she said, "In the past few months, we have all endured a vast amount of pressure, but we have held each other up and supported one another. Oxford Strong means to push through, overcome, and stand tall," end closed quote. The sorrow and resiliency of Oxford's departing 414 seniors were a constant theme at their graduation Thursday at Pine Knob Music Theater in Clarkston. The nearly 3-hour event had all the markings of a commencement, with graduates in dark robes surrounding a flower-fronted stage, cheering scholastic accomplishments and earning their diplomas between musical selections. But the shooting was repeatedly referenced in remarks from both administrators and students. Quote, "Our hearts ache and our souls weep at the loss of their lives on November 30th, said Ken Weaver, superintendent of Oxford Community Schools, to the crowd. That was symbolized by the seats left empty for two 17-year-old seniors among those slain in the attack, those being Madison Baldwin and Justin Schilling. Their families were presented presented the teens robes and school honors in large frames. They also learned Schilling had earned enough votes to earn the Oxford Cup, which Principal Stephen Wolfe described as the school's highest honor for students granted each year. The teen, who was active in the school's bowling team and part of an international baccalaureate program, had an, quote, amazing work ethic and continuous drive to do the very best that he could, in closed quote, said Wolfe. He continued on by saying, quote, Justin always looked wide-eyed at the future and was always eager to get out there and make a difference. Justin lived by the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And this character is how we remember Justin, who was honest, trustworthy, resilient, and dependable, in closed quote. Baldwin was also memorable, he said, a competitive, intelligent youth intent on earning all A's and excelling in photography, drawing, and creative writing. She dreamed of attending college and studying neuroscience. Quote, Madison was always a bright light, and her smile and laugh were beautifully contagious, Wolfe said. Madison carried herself with a positive and radiant energy that everybody could feel when she walked into the room. We have no doubt that she was on a path to do some incredible things in her life, end closed quote. The haunting loss of the teens, as well as two other students, Hannah St. Juliana and Tate Meir, amid a pandemic, it meant the class of 2022, quote, will be known as a class that has no comparison, not in the past or in the future, said Thomas Donnelly, the school board president. For Weaver, the tragedy has brought him closer to many students, but has forged a special relationship with Kylie. On the day of the shooting, Weaver, then a deputy superintendent for the district, ran into Oxford High School where his two children attend classes. He found the scene of the shooting, the 4 students who died, and Kylie, who was shot in the chest and bleeding badly. He tried to stem her bleeding until emergency responders arrived. Quote, I was helping Kylie, holding her wounds and waiting for assistance to arrive. That day has deeply impacted me, end close quote, Weaver told the Detroit News. Kylie spent more than a month in hospitals before returning to a home in January. Weaver recalled a moment when Kylie was in a classroom after she resumed taking classes, and she spoke to Weaver about taking care of himself after his promotion to superintendent in March. Quote, she basically showed care about more about me and where I was at by simply saying, I want you to take care of yourself when you are superintendent, end closed quote. Quote, I was quite touched, deeply moved, quite honest. I cried. I have a fond relationship with Kylie. Her life from that point on has been an inspiration to me. I've witnessed her recovery, her spirit and attitude, and love and kindness, end closed quote. In her speech as the senior speaker on Thursday, Kylie noted the bonds formed through the tragedy. Quote, when I think of an Oxford Wildcat, I think of being courageous. Courageous means to be brave and not terrified of danger or pain. Throughout these past few months, we have helped one another. And when I say we, I mean first responders, students, teachers, administrators, parents, neighbors, family, and friends, she said. These people are all courageous. They are all brave from one another. They are heroes, end closed quote. Weaver said he is extremely proud of his seniors, saying, quote, we are going to miss Justin and Madison tremendously. They are just wonderful examples of our community and our students of what it means to be a Wildcat and a member of the Oxford community. As far as the graduates, I want to tell them that I'm extremely proud of their perseverance and the grit that they have shown through this year, and that I love them and I will be there for them. I hope they continue to pull together and support one another, end closed quote. Bree Barrows, 17 years old, also graduated Thursday night with her classmates. She will attend Michigan Technical University, studying mechanical engineering, and will play on the Upper Peninsula School's soccer team. Quote, it feels relieving to finally leave after everything that happened. It is also sad, and it's bittersweet, Bree said. She was friends with Justin Schilling and knows some of the students who were shot in the attack. Her faith in God got her through the last 6 months, she said, quote, right after it happened, we were distraught and lost. I was with friends and family constantly. I looked to God with everything. God became stronger. I did go to church. I prayed with friends and attended vigils, she said. The day after, when I found out Justin had passed, I was really having a hard time. I went and hung out with friends and talked it over, she said. Bree was in school on the day of the attack, walking to 4th hour when the shooting began, quote, and I turned around and there was a mob of people running at me. Some people said there were gunshots. I ran a few feet, I stopped, and I didn't believe it, Bree said, continuing on. I heard 3 gunshots, and I kept running, end closed quote. To this day, the sound of an ambulance brings Bree back to November 30th. Quote, I heard screaming on that day, she said. The shooting has caused her to not take anything or anyone for granted, Bree said. Quote, I cherish every moment. I never know what could happen. That happened, she said. I don't think it will be normal again. Everyone will start to feel easier, but it will never be normal, end closed quote. All those headlines on our website, civiccentertv.com/local-news. We can also learn more information from the CDC, the NBHHS, and the Oakland County Health Division about COVID-19 information at all levels, that being federal, state, and the local level. Keep up to date on COVID-19 as well as other stories. civiccentertv.com/local-news. We have a great program ahead on this Friday edition of the Oakland County Megacast. Coming up, we'll talk politics with Oakland University's Dave Dulio. And then at the bottom of the hour, we'll be joined by Tyra M. Moore from A Girl Like Me Incorporated. That's all coming up next. This is the Oakland County Megacast.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line, for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Motorcyclists are hard to see. To keep everyone safer, it's important to always look for them and know where most crashes occur. 84% of motorcycle and vehicle crashes happen on streets, not highways. And most crashes with motorcyclists occur when vehicle drivers are turning left. So before turning, especially to the left, make sure you look for motorcyclists. Then look again. It could save a life.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there is a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/ACP or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
The Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission has more information. Visit gwbcable.org.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
72.7% of high school students get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. This can cause pain, obesity, and can very negatively affect your mental health. When you have a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you get sick less often, lose more weight, and have better relationships with those around you. For more information about the dangers of sleep deprivation, go to sleepfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there is a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/ACP or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
The Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission has more information. Visit gwbcable.org.
Can I ask you a question?
Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes, they stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Welcome back to the Oakland County Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. To learn more about the program at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information about our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now is the director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University and a political science professor there as well. Dave Dulio is back with us once again on the Oakland County Megacast. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tyler.
Appreciate having you on. So exciting news from the Center for Civic Engagement. The last time you had us on, you gave us a little bit of a tease for this, and now we can finally talk about it. On May 24th, the Center for Civic Engagement will be hosting a Democratic primary debate. That's coming up next week. Who will this debate be between?
Well, this is going to be for the 11th Congressional District Democratic primary. Of course, we've got two incumbents, two currently sitting members of the U.S. House of Representatives, Andy Levin and Haley Stevens, vying for that Democratic nomination. And part of our work at Oakland University to be, we like to talk about being a steward of place and doing things in the nature of the public good, right? When we've got such a high profile, important primary election that's going to come up Election Day in August, it's, I think, incumbent upon us to be a place where these kinds of events, these kinds of conversations, as you know, we want to be a convener of conversations at Oakland University. We want to be that place where these things can happen.
And it's going to be a very highly contested run for both of these individuals for the Democratic primary. And so with all the opportunities they would have to be out on the campaign trail and to try to get a leg ahead of their opponent, how did this debate come about between these two candidates and ultimately having this debate be held by Oakland University through its Center for Civic Engagement?
Sure. It's as we've talked many times about the different opportunities and programs and events that we try to bring to the, not just to campus, but to the community. This seemed like a natural fit, and it was easy, right? I mean, the center has, I think, built a bit of a reputation for wanting to do these things and frankly for doing them well. So it was an easy conversation that I had with some OU leadership, including the president of the university, President Peskovitz. We talked about doing this and others. She said, absolutely. And we got in contact with both campaigns. They were terrific to work with, very easy. We got through the negotiation on sort of the rules and logistics and how it's going to go in probably 45 minutes.
We're joined by Dave Dulio, professor of political science and director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, joining us on the Megacast today. You can learn more information about the Center for Civic Engagement and everything going on at Oakland University by visiting oakland.edu. That's oakland.edu. And so let's set the stage for this contest in the Democratic primary between Haley Stevens and Andy Levin. Is the redistricting in the state of Michigan. New congressional lines were drawn, and both of these candidates chose to run in this particular district, which is interesting because they could have ran in other districts, particularly Andy Levin, and he chose to run in this district, which is Haley Stevens' neck of the woods too. And so where did that decision come from your knowledge and from your discussions with the Levin campaign to run for this district and not in another area of Michigan, especially because in this case, the Democratic Party in particular is going to be losing one of these two incumbent candidates from going back to Washington?
You're right. And I think I certainly don't have any inside information on Representative Levin's decision to run here rather than in another district. But based on what he has said, right, publicly, is that he lives in Oakland County. He's from here. He's been here for years and years and years, right? So I think that certainly plays a role. But you make a good point that the rules in Michigan are that you don't have to live in the congressional district that you want to run in. I think, there are always political calculations, let's say, right? But and frankly, coming over this way, is a bit of a risk for Congressman Levin, because his current congressional district, let me say that again, because I think we fall victim to this, maybe it's a pet peeve of mine, right? We talk about congressional districts oftentimes in terms of possessive, right? Where, oh, that's Levin's district or that's Stevens' district. Well, it's neither of their districts, right? It's our district. They don't own them, they don't possess them, right? So let me say it again. The district that Congressman Levin currently represents makes up a smaller portion of the new 11th district than the district that Congresswoman Stevens currently represents, right? So she's got more people in this new 11th that are familiar with her, that know her name from her previous campaigns, from her previous 4 years in office. Now, having said that, right, Representative Levin has got the Levin name behind him, which is powerful still here in Michigan.
We're joined by Dave Dulio, professor of political science at Oakland University and director of its Center for Civic Engagement, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. So what are some of the subject matter, what are some of the topics that these two candidates will be debating next week? And again, this is next week. This is on May 24th, this debate through the Center for Civic Engagement.
Yeah, I think that I don't know, because we have two professional journalists who are going to serve as moderators. Chad Livengood, who is recently, in addition to the Detroit News, is going to be one of those moderators, and Emily Lawler from the Free Press is going to serve as the other moderator. They are, in the next several days, going to be working out those questions. One thing that I really like about what we did with this is that as part of the registration page that folks can sign up to come to the debate in person on our campus, or they can attend via live stream through YouTube. We put out there an opportunity for folks to submit a question. Now, we're not going to be able to get to all of them. And I'm already seeing some themes emerge from the questions that have been submitted. And we'll supply those to Chad and Emily and say, here's what came in from the audience. Use this as part of your process to create questions for the candidates. But I think you'll see some familiar themes. The economy, for sure. Obviously, inflation, gas prices, right? Those are issues that are top of mind for voters right now. I think one of the things we want to try to do, because this is a U.S. House race, which, as you know, Tyler, are often won and lost based on sort of local issues, right? We want to make this about Oakland County. And I think drive home the idea that, hey, this is Oakland County's main congressional district. There are certainly other congressional districts have been maybe woven into the county through the new maps that were approved by the Redistricting Commission. And in fact, I think that 6 of the 13 congressional districts in Michigan touch Oakland County. And if you're thinking about the size of those, right? The 10th congressional district, for instance, is only just a sliver of Oakland County, Rochester Hills, and the rest of it is in Macomb County. That's very different than the 11th, which is sort of centered on Oakland County. So we want to make it about the county, local issues, things that are going to impact the lives of folks here in our county.
We're joined by Dave Dulio, professor of political science and director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. More information about the event can be found on oakland.edu. And again, that's a Democratic primary debate between Representatives U.S. Representatives Andy Levin and Haley Stevens, who are both vying for the Democratic nomination for the 11th Congressional District in the primaries coming up this August. And that debate, you can also submit questions for it. And you mentioned that, Dave. So if people are interested in submitting questions for the candidates that Chad and Emily may ask of them at this debate, how can they go about doing that?
Yeah, they can go to oakland.edu. There's a story on our main landing webpage that will get you to a few more details about the event. And on that news story page is a link to the registration form. Very simple, name, email, and the opportunity to submit that question that are on people's minds.
Yeah, scroll down just a little bit on the main page of Oakland.edu down to its news, and it will say OU to host Democratic primary debate May 24th. Click on that article, and it'll take you to that article from the Center for Civic Engagement, where you can learn more information and submit questions through their specific webpage. You can also send more information on the event or any questions about the event. You can also contact Dave. His email is also listed on that website at oakland.edu under that article. So then, Dave, in other political news in the state, on the other side of the aisle, Republican gubernatorial candidate James Craig, he's facing some problems at this point. He had some invalidated signatures on his nominating politician, and this is big because this could have serious implications on his ability to run for office in the Republican primary, but also even if he is able to run in the Republican primary, how does this, for lack of better terms, off the top of my head, scandal here or incident here affect his ability to vie for that candidacy in that party? Especially considering the election fraud issues supposed election fraud issues in from that party in particular following the 2020 election.
Sure, I think that it ranges on a spectrum, right? From incredibly serious because it could knock him off the ballot, right? That is sort of the worst case scenario, obviously, for the Craig campaign. And they have said, to be fair, that they think they have enough signatures that it won't come to that. But so let's assume that that's the case, right? I think that on the other end of the spectrum, as bad as it gets the other side of it is still not great for the Craig campaign, because I think you'll see his opponents use it against him, right? As either a competency issue or maybe they try to draw it out into more of a scheme.
We're joined by Dave Dulio, professor of political science and director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, joining us on the Megacast. More information about the Center for Civic Engagement can be found at oakland.edu. You can also scroll down to the bottom of the page and learn more information under Oakland University News about their upcoming Democratic primary debate between Representative Haley Stevens and Representative Andy Levin, who are both now vying for the new 11th Congressional District Democratic seat on the midterm election in November. That will take place 7 p.m. to 8:30 on May 24th at the Oakland Center Founders Ballroom on OU's campus. Again, more information can be found on oakland.edu. You can also learn more about where you can view the live stream of this event, which will be live streamed on YouTube as well. And so nationally, a lot of primaries have already occurred or occurred this week. Some even as recently as this past Tuesday, and it's across the board. Senatorial, congressional, gubernatorial candidates also going through primaries, and so it's a ways away still from Michigan's primaries, and these are other states. They're not Michigan, but you could presume that in some of these states, especially those that were more purple along the lines of Michigan in the 2020 election and those kind of bouncing between Democratic and Republican in previous elections, that this can be a bit of a forecast for what may be to come in the state of Michigan. So with that being said, are there any overriding themes at this time based on these most recent primaries that have already been undergone that Michiganders, especially those that are interested in the competition in politics in the state of Michigan, should be aware of?
Yeah, I think two that I'll point out, and they're intertwined, right? And one of them is the presence of former President Trump, and the second one is turnout. And I say those are intertwined because Donald Trump still has a great impact by being able to energize his supporters. And so I'm one who thinks that elections, almost all of them, are determined by voter turnout, right? Who gets their supporters to the polls more effectively, who gets more of their people out, usually wins. And we've seen that in some of those other states. We've also seen it here in Michigan. If we think back to the endorsement convention that Republicans held at the end of April, not the formal nominating convention, but the endorsement convention, which for all intents and purposes is the nominating convention. Anyway, you see candidates like Ms. Caramo and Mr. DePerno get through that convention process. And that's at least in large part due to the fact that the Trump supporters were very active at the grassroots, and they participated in that convention process and were rewarded with delegates at the state convention that then turned into votes for the endorsements of those candidates. So, that was sort of on a micro level, right? It's very different when we're talking about primaries, when the universe of participants is going to be much bigger, rather than a relative handful of grassroots activists at the convention. You've got this statewide popular vote in August. Of course, we don't expect turnout to be terribly high. It could, just because it never is in primaries in August. But I think watching the impact of Trump, not only on candidates, but then more specifically on voter turnout come August.
We're joined by Dave Dulio, the director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University. He's also a professor of political science at Oakland University as well. Their upcoming debate between Haley Stevens and Andy Levin for the 11th Congressional District Democratic primary is coming up next week. Next week, that is May 24th, Tuesday, May 24th, 7 o'clock to 8:30 at Oakland University. It'll be in their Oakland Center Founders Ballrooms, and it'll also be live streamed online on YouTube as well. You can also learn more information by visiting oakland.edu and submit some questions too that may be selected to be asked of the two representatives vying for this Democratic nomination. And so you said that this is something that when the idea of a debate came forth and was discussed with President Herskovits at Oakland University, that they were very receptive to it and excited about this. You have this debate coming up. Are more being planned or more being sought at this time for upcoming debates between candidates for the primaries, and certainly as we get toward the general election?
Yeah, I think what I'll say is we've got a couple irons in the fire, and we'll leave it at that for now.
Well, you can keep up to date on everything happening at the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University by visiting their website at oakland.edu. That's oakland.edu. They have the support of the Political Science Department. They have the support of President Ora Herskovits and more. And so you can, and like Dave said, irons in the fire. But for now, you can wet your palate for debates in this political season by joining them Tuesday, May 24th at 7 o'clock until 8:30 in the Oakland Center Founders Ballroom on the campus of Oakland University or on YouTube for their live stream. And submit your questions at oakland.edu. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tyler.
Appreciate your time. Again, more information, oakland.edu. You can also follow Oakland University on many of their social media, including Twitter at OaklandU. We're going to take a break on the Megacast. When we come back, we'll be joined by a woman who took her journey through teen pregnancy and used it to inspire and help other women of all ages and backgrounds through their pregnancy and motherhood. That's up next on the Megacast.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you did. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners, working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is the source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Motorcyclists are hard to see. To keep everyone safer, it's important to always look for them and know where most crashes occur. 84% of motorcycle and vehicle crashes happen on streets, not highways. And most crashes with motorcyclists occur when vehicle drivers are turning left. So before turning, especially to the left, make sure you look for motorcyclists. Then look again. It could save a life.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there's a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll at fcc.gov/ACP or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
The Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission has more information. Visit gwbcable.org. Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. Learn more about the program by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll also find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now is Tyra M. Moore, the founder of A Girl Like Me Incorporated, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. Tyra, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first of all, tell us about your company and tell us a little bit about your background. What led you to find this organization?
Okay, so yes, A Girl Like Me, Inc. is a nonprofit organization that helps girls, teens, teen, and young moms up until the age of 25. We provide free diapers, wipes, feminine products, new and used gently baby items and clothing. We also run a mentoring program every Saturday for girls, teens, and teen moms up until the age of 17. I started this organization because at the age of 14, I gave birth to my daughter. No one knew I was pregnant. My mom found out on a Tuesday. I gave birth that same week on a Friday. And I remember us talking and things. And when she came out, we didn't even know she was a girl until she arrived. And I remember my mom talking to family, friends in our community. And when we got released from the hospital and went to my grandmother's house, it was baby items lined up on the porch to inside the house. And I just said one day, I was going to pay it forward because my community friends and people I didn't even know came through for me. And I decided, one day I was going to pay it forward. And I've been doing it ever since 2019.
So how do you find the women that are in similar situations to what you were in at the age of 15, or even beyond that age or before that age, and provide these services to them? Are they coming to you? Or are you finding them? Is there some combination?
So they find me. I started posting on social media. I made a business page and also on Instagram. So I post a lot, and friends and family on the internet, they contact me if they know someone or someone to see my post, and they'll contact me. Or if I see someone out like in a hospital, or when I even used to work for Sinai Grace Medical Center, I would see like young teen moms or young girls that's going through things because they are in the medical center, and I will reach out and help them. And also basically it's like word of mouth and social media. They find me, and I do a lot of TV interviews and news interviews, and that's how they find our services.
We're joined by Tyra M. Moore, the founder of A Girl Like Me, Inc., located in Southfield, joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. More information can be found on their website. Just visit agirllikemeinc.org. That is agirllikemeinc.org for more information. And so what advice do you have for, particularly for those younger girls, but also for young women that are pregnant and maybe not don't know what to do, what steps they need to take next, and are struggling with that, with the idea of giving birth and potentially mothering a child, that were in a similar situation to yours, because you have this organization that's providing these great services to them that are immensely helpful to young mothers. But there's also an element there of understanding the situation you're in so that you can make the best decisions and you can go forward as comfortably as possible. So what's some of the advice that you have for young girls and for young women that are pregnant or are soon to be mothering?
Yeah, so the advice I would give would just be patient. Everything will work out as it should, because everything happened for a reason. A lot of these teen moms, they're not fast. They're not just out here trying to have kids and things like that. Just like me, I was an honor student. I just fell in love with a boy. I thought I was, like I said, in love. And, things happen in some situations. Some girls get raped, and of course they don't know what to do. But by me having this program, I teach them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. If they have any questions on what type of prenatal care you're supposed to take, or resources to reach out to different clinics and hospitals if they're scared, I'm there with them and for them, going to them to appointments and just providing them all the necessary needs they need to take care of their baby and also be healthy. And a lot of things I just want moms to know is that there is support out here. If you really want the support and need the support, you can contact us. You can contact other resources that helps teen pregnancy or young moms with pregnancy if this is their first child, even if it's their second child, because the second time around, it's not the same as the first. So you still would need that support system. And that's why, like, as a community, everyone that I work with, like, everyone comes together, even my family and friends, they help out with moms. It's like kind of like a sister friend type situation. We'll help out if we can get products. If we can get them, we'll get them, we'll provide them. If we don't have them, we reach out to other different resources and try to just give them all the information and tools that they need to have a healthy baby and also live a healthy lifestyle.
So Tyra, from your interaction with these girls and with these women, and from others involved in the organization and their interaction with these girls and with these women, how important is that sense of a community and that community support in their journey to going through their pregnancy and certainly through the early portions of their motherhood?
Well, I think having that community involvement is very helpful, because some of these girls are alone. The father may not be in their life. They might not have the family support or anything, and they just need someone to know that I'm here. I'm here to help you, even if it's just a conversation or a prayer or something, to just hold their hand throughout the pregnancy, even after the pregnancy. Just let them know that you are safe, you are okay, and anything that we can do, we will do to help you. Just having, it takes a village to raise a child, and also it takes a village to help other moms in need and other teen and youth. If they see the support, they will know, my life is not over. I can accomplish my dreams. I can finish high school. I can take that trade, go off to college, get a job. They just need that support and just that extra push to know, okay, if Tyra could do it, I know that I can do it. If I have the support system, even if it's not my family or friends, I know that I can make it through life.
More information on their website at girllikemeinc.org, girllikemeinc.org. For more information, we're joined by Tyra M. Moore, the founder of A Girl Like Me, Inc., joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. And you have a number of different great events that are able to help provide support to these girls and to these women through your organization. One of those is your A Girl Like Me, Inc. prom. You have scheduled for this July. Tell us about that event and how people can participate.
Yeah, so I was so excited to do this prom. I had it planned for last year when I turned 30, but I was like, okay, let me try again this year. So we picked 25 girls and women, ages 17 all the way up to 100 years old, that never got the opportunity to attend their high school prom, including myself. I never got a chance to go to prom. And we are collecting donated dresses, shoes, jewelry, monetary donations, so we can make this prom so spectacular and make it a lifelong memory for me and for them. And if you would like to help, we are still accepting dresses, shoes, jewelry, anything you would like to do to help us out to make this prom a night to remember. We would love your help. Yes.
More information information can be found about their A Girl Like Me Inc. prom by visiting their website, agirllikemeinc.org. agirllikemeinc.org. Go over to their events page and you can learn more information about this upcoming event in July and other fundraisers and opportunities throughout the year. Again, that's agirllikemeinc.org for more information. And so have people that are involved with the organization already been chosen to participate in this prom? It's open to girls and women in the public that maybe have not even gone and sought your services at this time. How can people participate?
So at this time, we do have the selected 25 women, but if it goes well this year, the plan is to have it every year. I would love to do it every year and get a different 25 girls or ladies that didn't get their opportunity to give them the opportunity to attend a prom.
So not everyone that would necessarily be involved with the organization is currently in need of the services. Sometimes they're just people that want to help. What sort of volunteer opportunities are there for those that want to get involved in your organization and help these girls and these women through their journey with pregnancy and raising a child?
Yeah, so we always are looking for donation sorters. We get a lot of donations in, and it takes a while for us to get through the donations because we do provide a lot of community giveaways. So we do need donation sorters. Also, we are looking for mentors. I'm currently the only mentor for the mentoring program, and I would love to have additional mentors on the team. We also are looking for just people that just want to come out and help set up or break down events or come help out with the event, and also provide, if you have diapers that you would like to give, we always are in need of diapers and wipes. That's one of the main things we provide to the moms. And like our bigger sizes are the ones we don't have a lot of, which are size 5 and up. So if you would like to participate in donating, we also take new and used, gently used baby items, baby clothing, like bottles. We take pacifiers, we take strollers, any baby item you can think of, we take it as long as it's new or gently used.
We're joined by Tyra M. Moore, the founder of A Girl Like Me, Inc., joining us on the Oakland County Megacast. More information about the organization and including contact information if you would like to volunteer with the organization and be a mentor and join alongside Tyra and being a mentor for some of these girls and women. You can find that information on their website at agirllikemeinc.org, agirllikemeinc.org. And on top of volunteering and of course monetary donations, what are some other great needs of your organization at this time? If people out in the community that are viewing this or live or seeing this sometime down the road would like to help your organization?
Yes, well, currently we are located in Southfield, but we get so many donations in, and also we want to expand our mentor program and add like baby classes for the moms, such as emotional support, breastfeeding, but we don't have big enough space. So if there's any space out there in Detroit area, Southfield area that needs a tenant, we are looking to expand our services and have a bigger space so we can serve more moms in need, teens in need, girls that just want to talk, and we just want to help more people, and we need the community help so we can reach and help a brighter community.
More information on their website at agirllikemeinc.org, agirllikemeinc.org for more information. You can also find them on social media on facebook.com/agirllikemeinc and on Instagram at agirllikemeinc. Agirllikemeinc is their handle on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also find those pages in a link at the bottom of their homepage at agirllikemeinc.org, agirllikemeinc.org. And Tyra, for those girls that are out there who are pregnant and don't know where to turn, and they're nervous about the situation because maybe they don't know how their family's going to react, maybe they don't know if the father is going to be involved in the pregnancy journey, certainly in raising the child. If they have those concerns and they don't know where to turn, what advice do you, as someone who's gone through this journey yourself beginning at the age of 15, what advice do you have for these girls and for these women and the steps that they can take to get that support that they need in this situation?
So for me, I did have some support as far as, raising my child. But, I figured out a lot of things on my own. I read books, I watched shows, and I just did what I thought was best for my child. And this one, actually, she'll be 15 and she's great. She's awesome. She's perfect. So what I would say is reach out to me. I take phone calls all throughout the night, all throughout the day. Anything that a teen or a young mom may need and I can provide, I will help them with. Even if it's just a conversation, I will help them with all the tools and the necessities needed to take care of themselves and their child. And if I don't have all the answers or all the materials, I will reach out to other resources and send them to other resources, and we all will come together, make up a plan and see how we can help them in the long run and have them prepare for their child and just have them to, have a nice life, do the things that they want to do, accomplish their dreams and their goals while raising their child.
More information can be found at agirllikemeinc.org. To get in contact with them, you click on their contact link at the top of their page. You can also call them 313-957-9952. That's 313-957-9952. Or visit their website, agirllikemeinc.org. Tyra, another couple minutes before we'll need to say goodbye today. Anything else at this time that we haven't discussed about your organization that would be important for our audience to know, or other things you'd like to say at this time?
Yes, I just wanted to talk about a couple of more events that, I didn't mention. I forgot to mention and give to you all. We will be having an event this Saturday with our partners at University of Michigan, a student and also a friend of mine. We're doing a 5K walk to raise $5K for a teen mom that's graduating from high school. And we would like to present the $5K to the choosing of the student. So when they do go off to college or take a trade, they will have the $5K to get any baby items or any items they will need while in school. And then the following Saturday, we will be having a community giveaway, which will be giving away clothing for the whole family, baby items. We will be having Wayne County Health Mobile Unit coming out doing free testing, and we will have some free diapers and feminine products as well.
Thanks so much, Tyra, for joining us again. We've been joined by Tyra and Moore from A Girl Like Me, Inc. on the Megacast. We're going to take a break on your radio home for the Megacast, 89.3 WBLD, Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, as well as on the rest of our network on today's edition of the program. When we come back, we'll speak with Lucy Hale from the Michigan Science Center. That's coming up next as we kick off the Michigan Megacast.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there's a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll at fcc.gov/ACP or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
The Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission has more information. Visit gwbcable.org.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council,
we work together to protect water resources for everyone.
Most of the pollution entering our rivers is carried by rainwater that runs off roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
A rain garden helps catch stormwater runoff.
Rain gardens and their plants help dirty runoff soak into the ground.
You can do your part to help keep our water clean.
Learn about rain gardens and native plants.
So consider a rain garden in your home landscaping.
Catch the runoff with a rain garden.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
I couldn't breathe at all. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was 39 weeks pregnant and had a scheduled C-section. During that time, I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. I was really scared. I kept texting my husband and my mom, telling them how scared I was, and I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. And then I was worried if, when I did get home, that he wouldn't know who I was. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary, and if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not? Get your vaccine. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
A message from the staff of Michigan's Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Anyone can be a victim of crime
and suffer lasting trauma, physically, emotionally, and financially.
But you are not alone.
If you're struggling financially due to a crime,
we're here
for you.
Find out if you qualify for crime victim compensation.
Call 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crime-victim.
A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Victim Services.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Welcome to the Michigan Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. To learn more about the program by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com and clicking on the Megacast link, where you'll find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now from the Michigan Science Center is their Chief Business Officer, Lucy Hale, on the Michigan Megacast. Lucy, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Tyler. It's a pleasure to be here.
Appreciate having you on. So a lot of interesting events always going on and exhibits always going on over at the Michigan Science Center. Right now, the one that is coming up or going on is POPnology. Can you tell us about POPnology?
Yeah, so POPnology is a special exhibit. It is with us through August 11th, and it opens, our grand opening is May 25th, although we have a soft opening for our members today and tomorrow, and then for the general public on Sunday to help us test it out. And it's all about the intersection of science, technology, Hollywood, and science fiction. So it is about how our pop culture inspires technology and how technology inspires pop culture. It is so much fun. It's very hands-on. It's very engaging. And best of all, it's free with admission.
So what was the inspiration behind bringing POPnology to the Michigan Science Center?
Well, we really wanted to have, you know, we've had such a rough couple of years between the pandemic and being closed last summer. And so we really just wanted to have something fun and to celebrate being reopened and having all systems go and to welcome the public back to our museum and to downtown Detroit. And so we had the last minute opportunity to take this exhibit in. It was really a huge effort of the team to get it in from 3 weeks to signing contract to arriving, which is not normal. But it's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience for us all to have it here. And we really just wanted something to encourage families to come on down and get excited about science. You know, our mission is to put people at the center of science, and this exhibit totally does that.
So, Lucy, you mentioned multiple times bringing in POPnology. So it is an outside exhibit that travels across the country, and it's being brought into the Michigan Science Center. So who makes POPnology, and how did the Michigan Science Center end up getting in contact with these individuals?
Oh, that's a great question. So it's a company called Stage 9 that has developed this exhibit, and another company called EDG travels it throughout the country. So it has been at other museums, throughout the continent since its inception. And so folks might have seen it in other cities. They might have seen it in Michigan a few years ago. It was in a different part of the state. But it's pretty typical for our museum business to bring exhibits like this in. And we have wonderful exhibit partners that we work with who are always developing really exciting things for us to bring to our audiences, to get folks excited about what it is that we do as a science museum and a hands-on science center. And so this is a company that we've worked with in the past. They're wonderful to work with. We know they develop high quality exhibits. And so even though it was a short timeline, it was a no-brainer for us to take it.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found on their website, mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information on the Michigan Science Center and events such as POPnology, which will also be great for photo opportunities for families, especially for those kids that are big fans of some of these different pop culture icons in the movies and in TV shows and science fiction, and would like to get a picture with some of their favorite characters. Can you tell us about some of the opportunities that will be there for great photos and making great memories?
Yeah, well, I hope you can see the DeLorean over my shoulder. And so we do have a replica of the Time Machine DeLorean from Back to the Future, and that's a great photo op. Alien is in the exhibit. We've got some cool characters, some cool droids from Star Wars that are in the exhibit, Terminator, and a really neat Mars experience that has some cool backdrops. And then there's also a photo booth, so folks can take pictures in the photo booth it's got a gray screen behind it, not a green screen, but a gray screen, and you can send those to yourself. You can put them on your social media. It is a very fun exhibit, lots of photo opportunities. And you mentioned these sort of icons of movies. We're really hoping the movies that are featured in the exhibit are, really of our parents, the folks who are parents right now. And so we're hoping that it sparks some conversations and memories sort of with multi-generations, and really hope that we get kids inspired about technology and careers in technology, which was a really big reason why our sponsor, Signal Restoration, came in, because they're scientists and engineers, and they want the next generation to be inspired to work in those careers too. So it's fun and it's hands-on, but it is also some great technology that folks will get experience with.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Lucy, how long will POPnology be at the Michigan Science Center, and how can people get access to this exhibit?
Yeah, it'll be here through August 11th, and folks can go onto our website, www.mi-sci.org, and reserve tickets. Like I said, it is free with general admission, so you just need to get your general admission tickets. You can walk up to, we don't require advanced reservations, but we do recommend them. We expect it will be very busy this summer, and so we want to make sure folks are able to come in. We do have capacity limits on our building still, not so much because of the pandemic, but just because of our fire code. And so we want folks to make sure that they are getting their tickets in advance if they're able to.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer of the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Again, more information on POPnology and other events and exhibits at the Michigan Science Center can be found on their website, mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information on the Michigan Science Center. And so POPnology, not the only great event and exhibit happening at the Michigan Science Center coming up. You also have a big robot exhibit that's planned. Can you talk to us about what robotics fans can expect at the Michigan Science Center very soon?
Oh, sure. So the robot components are actually part of POPnology. So there are quite a few robots featured in the exhibit, and experiences where people can learn how robots work, and also about artificial intelligence. And so there's 5 different stations where people will get to activate robots and do a task with them and complete a game with them. And so that is very, very fun. We have a lot going on this summer. The other really exciting news is that our IMAX theater is reopening. And so that's the other really big thing we have on our minds and in our hearts. We're very excited about that.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer at the Michigan Science Center. Joining us on the Michigan Megacast, there's also a really exciting group of games that are also available at the Michigan Science Center. Can you tell us about some of the gaming experiences for people of all different ages at the Michigan Science Center at this time?
Yeah, so our whole museum is really hands-on, and so there are lots of great experiences throughout the halls where people can really activate learning through play. Whether it's building paper airplanes or engaging with our Earth, Wind, and Weather exhibits. And then in POPnology itself, there are some video games. So we do have an Oculus Rift station, so people can participate in that component of gaming and that type of gaming technology using virtual reality. And then we also have a fun little Easter egg. I'm not going to tell you where it is in the exhibit, but if anybody's a Donkey Kong fan, we've sort of tucked some arcade games around one of the corners, and you can experience some historic arcade games in POPnology. And then there's 2 different Mars mission games that people can complete. One is a Mars launch, and one is an actual mission, using technology to complete a mission in a simulated Mars environment. And so we hope folks enjoy those games and really and learn a little bit about the real science and technology behind Mars exploration through them.
Another great exhibit you can go to at the Michigan Science Center and learn a lot about a technology we see so often in our society are one of these things, one of these cell phones. We have a history of cell phones. It's called Cell Phones Deconstructed, and looking back into the year 1983 and investigating all the items that eventually led to smartphones over the years. Going all the way back to 1983, you're holding about 14 of these in your hand at one time. That's both in width and in depth. So tell us about that Cell Phones Deconstructed exhibit.
That's actually my favorite exhibit in the whole POPnology, which is funny because it's so hands-on, and there's so much you can do with gaming and robots like we were talking about. And this exhibit is very much a diorama, which is a little bit old school for a museum or for a science center, but I love it because, first of all, I did not know that smartphone technology was developed in 1983. I thought it was a much more modern technology. And it's an image, a diorama of the last day before smartphone technology was developed. And it's a snapshot of someone's house. And everything in the exhibit, with the exception of a few decor items, are things that we now use our phones for. So music, calendars, calculators, how we pay for things. And so it's a really interesting exhibit. It sparks lots of conversations. We had a family up there yesterday. One of the parents was just howling with laughter, thinking about everything that they used to use that they now just use their phones for, talking to their kids about it, explaining what some of these things were to their kids, a rotary phone, for example. So it's really it's a really neat exhibit, and we hope it sparks lots of conversations and thought.
We're joined by Lucy Hale, the Chief Business Officer of the Michigan Science Center, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information on all these exhibits ongoing, including POPnology, the Big Robot exhibit, and the Cell Phones Deconstructed exhibit, and more at mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information, or search the Michigan Science Center and look up more information on everything going on over there. And so there's a lot of other little mini exhibits and other activities also going on at the Michigan Science Center, and plenty of upcoming events for throughout the summer months to keep families engaged and kids learning while they're on their summer vacation from school. Can you give us a preview of some of these other upcoming events over at the Michigan Science Center coming up this summer?
Yeah, absolutely. So our IMAX reopens, our large dome theater, the IMAX reopens on June 15th for the general public. It opens June 11th and 12th for our members. And we have a big press event on June 9th for that. And we're very grateful to Magna Seating, who helped us redo our seats for that exhibit. So it is, or not exhibit, that theater. So it is an absolutely beautiful renovation that we've done. The seats, brand new carpet, and new painting and everything. It's a really, the IMAX is just looking phenomenal. And we're going to open that with 2 shows. One is a traditional IMAX show called Asteroid Hunters, which is about folks who look out for asteroids that may have a heavy impact on the Earth, and then a little bit about asteroid mining. And then we have a film called, or a laser show called Movie Madness. And so we are hearkening back to some of the of films that are featured in POPnology and other very iconic films, and bringing that music into our IMAX through our laser show and laser experience. And it's a very family-friendly laser show, and so we'll be showing that during the day, so folks can come and enjoy that. And then we also are doing some events. Some of them are engaging with our partners. So Concert of Colors is happening again this summer in downtown Detroit and Midtown, and so we'll be part of that. We're very excited to partner with them again this year. And then we have some fun adult events that we're doing in the evenings. And so we haven't announced the date yet, but keep an eye out for a very fun 80s themed After Dark for 21 and up audiences that will be tied to some of the themes in POPnology, but really just celebrating the 80s in general, and all of our exhibits at the museum. And that date will be announced soon. And then again, we are a great place for families to come in the summer if they're looking for things to do to get their kids inspired about science. The ability to spend time together as a family, to come to our museum is really important too. We are going to be bringing some food service back on site in June as well, so folks will be able to spend more time here at the museum. They won't have to leave to find lunch, which we're very excited about. And then we also are a wonderful place to spend when it's very hot outside too. You know, you can definitely have a great time in our air-conditioned space. So that's really important too. We know in the summer, especially with the humidity that we get here sometimes.
Lucy, before we let you go, anything else we haven't discussed today, or other things that are coming up at the Michigan Science Center that we should be aware of?
I don't think so. This was wonderful. Thanks for covering us and having us on today. We're really excited about this summer. It's going to be a great summer for all of us here in Detroit and at the Michigan Science Center.
Lucy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. More information can be found on the Michigan Science Center's website at mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org for more information on all the events and exhibits happening at the Michigan Science Center and other fun activities you can find there as well. We're going to take a break, and when we come back from that break, supporting women who have suffered from abuse while also helping them develop job skills and create art. That's coming up next on the Michigan Megacast.
Parents do a lot of worrying. Get your kids caught up on childhood vaccines to protect them from these 14 preventable diseases, and you'll have 14 fewer things to worry about. Vaccines are safe and effective and save lives. So let's get caught up on vaccines and worry about something else. Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Most of the pollution that goes into our rivers is carried by rainwater that flows off of roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
The leaves and bark of a single tree can retain a surprising amount of rainwater. Depending on its size and species, it could be 100 gallons or more.
It is estimated that an urban forest can reduce annual runoff by up to 7%.
Here's one thing that we know can help keep our water clean.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
One of the things you can look for in your friends is a change in behavior. These can be big changes, they can be small changes in mood, physical appearance. They may be sleeping less or sleeping more, drinking more, or their eating patterns may be different. One big change that can be pretty obvious is change in motivation. Do they no longer want to play basketball? Do they no longer want to play video games? Now that we're spending more time online and in virtual settings, it's really important to pay attention to the language that your friend is using and the words they're using to communicate.
So when we text our friends, are they taking longer amounts of time to respond? Are they not responding at all?
You don't have to be an expert to try to recognize these signs.
The second that you feel it in your gut and that you're concerned,
that's the second to have the conversation and open the door to what might be going on.
Whatever gets you talking. Today, it is easier than ever to join Michigan's Organ Donor Registry and help build a bridge of hope for organ, tissue, and eye donation. Just one person can potentially save or help improve the lives of up to 75 people. By joining, your legacy could be the gift of life. Sign up today at michigan.gov/SOS or at any of the more than 145 Secretary of State self-service stations located across Michigan. Be part of Michigan's Bridge of Hope by adding your name to the Organ Donor Registry.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there's a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll at fcc.gov/ACP or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
The Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission has more information. Visit gwbcable.org. Welcome back to the Michigan Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. To learn more about the program by visiting our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast. You'll find all of our programs on demand and learn more about each and every one of our partnering TV, web, and radio stations that include My Michigan TV, otherwise known as MyMy, which can also be found at mymytv.com, mymytv.com. Our next guest is the founder of Mend on the Move, an organization that helps women who have suffered abuse learn some job skills and create beautiful jewelry. Joanne Ewald joins us now on the Megacast. Joanne, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tyler, for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So I gave a little bit of a preview of what your organization does, but you, of course, are the founder of the organization. You have a lot more information on this. You're a lot better person to describe Mend on the Move. So for those that may be unfamiliar with your organization, tell us what Mend on the Move does for people in the community.
So Mend on the Move is a nonprofit that employs women, who you said it right, who are survivors of abuse, a variety of different abuse, whether that's emotional, physical, sexual abuse. And we employ them with a job, and we teach them to create jewelry from salvaged auto parts. And that we're doing a thing twofold. We're helping women who desperately need it in our community, and also helping the environment by getting rid of waste that normally is just put into landfills.
And so how did you come to find this organization? What was the motivation behind providing these opportunities to survivors of abuse, and then why this route for providing that outlet?
Well, I'm a survivor myself, and really a long time coming in my healing process. I really didn't begin the healing process until I was well into my adulthood, although the abuse happened when I was a child. And so creating art and jewelry was a part of my healing process, and I began to think that maybe other women might benefit from it the same as I did, other women who've been through similar situations. So it really was just a part of my healing process, and it led me here. And why auto parts? I just wanted to pick something that was symbolic of working with women locally.
And so, Joanne, when they are putting together this jewelry, they're making it from salvaged auto parts. What is that process like? Because when you think of salvaged auto parts, I think most people would think of things that are rusted out or are heavily used and are probably not going to be all that visually appealing to then turn into jewelry. So what is that process like?
Well, some of the parts aren't really that rusty and terrible looking. They're just parts maybe that have been discontinued, or a lot of companies just are not making, don't have use for it because they're not making something where they need those parts any longer. So they're given to us. Most of the time they don't look so used and grimy. They're newer parts, but they're just discontinued, more like parts.
We're joined by Joanne Ewald. She is the founder of Mend on the Move, with us today on the Oakland County Megacast. More information is on their website, mendonthemove.org. That's mendonthemove.org for more information on this organization. And so how do people that have been victims of abuse, how do they then find Mend on the Move, get in contact with your organization, and start working with your organization?
Well, we, on a regular basis, when we need makers, we try to put out a job opportunity on all of our social media, our website. Currently, we are actually looking for a seamstress, because not only do we make jewelry, but we also create leather goods from salvaged car seat leather. And we do all sorts of fun things with that leather. So we're looking for a seamstress right now. We may also be looking for another maker soon too, so stay tuned, but they can always look on our website, contact info@mendonthemove if they're interested, or if they just need some information in general on how to deal with the situation they may find themselves into.
We're joined by Joanne Ewald, the founder of Mend on the Move, with us on the Oakland County Megacast. More information is on their website, mendonthemove.org. And so you mentioned not only the jewelry that's being made from salvaged auto parts, but also your seamstress and some of the clothing items that are also being made from salvaged parts, such as seats and from the leather of the seats and the cloth of the seats and so on. Where are you getting all these materials from? Who are they coming from to Mend on the Move to then turn into these products?
Well, currently our list is a big donator is Ford. They actually donated a whole pallet of car seat leather to us last year, which we're putting to good use. We make tote bags, we make table runners, dog leashes. We get also leather from Lear Corporation. We get parts from Relco Industries that make carburetors and radiators. We get parts from BAE Industries, and they make seat components. Let's see, who else might be missing? Right now, we are getting a lot of potential suppliers from Magna. They use a variety of suppliers to make their parts, and they plugged us into their suppliers to try to see who would be interested in donating parts that service them. So we're slowly but surely making our way through the automotive industry and finding new connections all the time.
We're joined by Joanne Ewald. She is the founder of Mend on the Move, with us on the Megacast today. More information on their website, mendonthemove.org. That's mendonthemove.org. And Joanne, you have an event coming up. It's called Shop for the Good Village. Can you tell us what this event is, what the goal of this event is, and where people can join in and participate?
So this event is really not sponsored by Mend. We're actually just going to be participating in it, but it's actually put on by the Berkeley, I believe it's the Berkeley Chamber of Commerce. But it is on July 6th from 11 to 5 p.m. And it's really great. I think it's one of the only art shows. It's the it's actually officially called the Berkeley, and I have to look this up because this, again, is not the show that we're not sponsoring it, but we're excited to be a part of it. It's called the Berkeley Street Art Fest, and what's really cool about it is they're having one area of it. It's called the Shop for Good Village. So in that street, or that street area, there is a section for just either nonprofits such as like us, or other businesses that are making products that are either sustainable, good for the environment, or that helping people locally. So it's all products that really are doing things good for our community. And I think that's really great idea. And again, I don't know whether another art fair that's doing something like this.
We're joined by Joanne Ewald. She is the founder of Mend on the Move, joining us on the Megacast. Again, more information is on the website, mendonthemove.org. That's mendonthemove.org. And again, if you would like to participate in the Berkeley Street Art Fest and at the Shop for the Good Village section of that, where Mend on the Move and other organizations will be selling some of their products to support their organizations, that event is coming up in July 6th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Berkeley, as the Berkeley Street Art Fest. Go ahead and search that for more information on the full festival, and you can search Shop for Good Village at that event when you arrive. July 6th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's actually, I think it's July 16th. You said July 6th. I think it's July 16th.
July 16th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, more information. If you search Berkeley Street Art Fest, you'll get all the information you need on the entire event, which will include Shop for Good Village, where our friends at Mend on the Move will be on that date. We're joined by Joanne Ewald, the founder of Mend on the Move. And for those that may be doing some shopping for Mother's Day or down the road for Father's Day even, you have many products that are available at this time. Can you tell us about some of the collection of jewelry that may be available if someone would like to get a gift for their mother or their father or someone else in their life this summer?
Well, Mother's Day is actually right next week. Yeah. So that's actually before this event. We have lots of things on our website. I'm wearing a pair of earrings right now, and these are parts that are donated from Relco Industries. But we have leather goods, and we have earrings and necklaces, and oh my gosh, there's lots of good, fun stuff to check out. But this art show will have all those items there, and we'll also have our leather goods at present there too. So lots of great things for, honestly, in the summertime, I start going to all the art shows and start thinking about the holiday, because, that's a time when when that time comes, you want a unique gift, it's hard to find. So start thinking about it in the summer. I do my holiday shopping beginning in the summer, June, for all the art shows in Michigan.
Yeah, a lot of great art shows in the spring and the summer, and even into the early parts of the fall, all throughout the state of Michigan. And many of them do have events like Shop for Good Village within that event that the Berkeley Street Art Fest will have in July, featuring organizations like yours, like Mend on the Move. We're joined by Joanne Ewald. She is the founder of Mend on the Move. More information is on their website, mendonthemove.org. And so, Joanne, if people would like to get involved with the organization, either they are victims survivors of abuse, the victims of abuse, survivors of abuse themselves, and would like to work with the organization, or others that would like to volunteer or help the organization in any way that they can, how can they get involved with Mend on the Move?
Well, we don't necessarily have a volunteer program because, the women actually work in the studio, and there's a lot of privacy involved, and identity issues. So it's not so much a volunteer, but for those who actually are looking, they're survivors actually looking to be involved either as employment opportunity, or, again, that would be a good volunteer opportunity for them, being a survivor themselves. It would be info@mendonthemove.org. Anybody who wants to contact for more information or has ideas of how they would like to be involved, and maybe it's not even like working in our studio or something, but maybe it's doing something outside the studio that would be beneficial for our organization. We're always looking for opportunities to raise money, because our jewelry does help us pay our employees, but we also have a more mending program that we're launching, and that really helps us provide services beyond employment opportunity to our survivors, because we really recognize that they have a lot of needs that need to be met that maybe employment can't handle. So there's lots of ways people can be involved, and I'd like to be able to speak one-on-one to people if they have ideas.
Again, that contact information is info@mendonthemove.org. That's info@mendonthemove.org. There's also more information on their website, mendonthemove.org, as well. If you'd like more information, info@mendonthemove.org to get involved with Mend on the Move and learn more information. And go to their website if you'd like to make a donation as well. That's mendonthemove.org. We're joined by Joanne Ewald, the founder of Mend on the Move, joining us today on the Megacast. Joanne, another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye on this edition of the Megacast. Anything else at this time that we haven't discussed about your organization that would be important for our audience to know or be considering at this time?
Well, I just wanted to also talk about one more thing about the art show, the Shop for Good Village. I do see that they actually have, like, if you apply before May 30th, you get a discount in the booth fee. And it's actually so affordable for nonprofits. We don't do a lot of art shows simply because they're a lot of money for a booth fee. And that money we think can be better spent and elsewhere, being a nonprofit. But this is only $75 if they sign up before May 30th. And after that, it goes up to $100, but still, that is really a reasonable fee for a booth, I think. And that makes it affordable for us. Like I said, we wouldn't do a booth, usually an art show where it's $500 or something like that, which is a typical booth fee at a larger art fair. So I think it's definitely affordable and a good opportunity, I think, for other nonprofits out there that sell a product, or any organization that's doing good in our community, selling a product that's doing good. Great opportunity for them to participate, I think.
Again, Joanne Ewald with us from On the Move. Thank you so much, Joanne. We appreciate it. Again, Mend on the Move's Joanne Ewald. More information, mendonthemove.org. We're going to take a break on the Megacast. When we come back, we'll be joined by the president of NAMI Metro, Leon Judd, joins us next on the Michigan Megacast.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council,
we work together to protect water resources for everyone.
Most of the pollution entering our rivers is carried by rainwater that runs off roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
A rain garden helps catch stormwater runoff.
Rain gardens and their plants help dirty runoff soak into the ground.
You can do your part to help keep our water clean.
Learn about rain gardens and native plants.
So consider a rain garden in your home landscaping.
Catch the runoff with a rain garden.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
I couldn't breathe at all. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was 39 weeks pregnant and had a scheduled C-section. During that time, I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. I was really scared. I kept texting my husband and my mom, telling them how scared I was, and I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. And then I was worried if, when I did get home, that he wouldn't know who I was. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary, and if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not? Get your vaccine. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
A message from the staff of Michigan's Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Anyone can be a victim of crime
and suffer lasting trauma, physically, emotionally, and financially.
But you are not alone.
If you're struggling financially due to a crime,
we're here
for you.
Find out if you qualify for crime victim compensation.
Call 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crime-victim.
A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Victim Services.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is the source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line, for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to the Michigan Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe. To learn more about the program at civiccentertv.com/Megacast, where you'll also find information on our entire network of stations, including My Michigan TV. Joining us now is one of 299 Share Detroit supported charities and nonprofits. Leon Judd is the president of NAMI Metro. It's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and joins us now on the Megacast. Leon, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, glad to have you with us. Tell us first about a little bit about yourself, how you got connected with NAMI Metro, and then about your organization.
Yeah, so I am the volunteer president of NAMI Metro and the founder of the organization. I had 34 years with the National Steel Corporation and retired as vice president of human resources. And then the next day became president of an international IT company headquartered in Germany, but to run the U.S. operations. And so in terms of how I got connected with mental illness is a personal story. I have a son who was 17 when we dropped him off at the University of Pittsburgh Honors Engineering School, engineering physics on an academic scholarship. And in his sophomore year, he had a complete psychotic break. And that was the introduction to mental illness that my wife and I and my son had, and my daughter, to mental illness. It was a very, very difficult time. First 5 years were horrible. A lot went on in those 5 years before insight was accepted. And then treatment came, and the excellent treatment that he's had. He's 47 today, doing very well, went back, got his undergraduate degree, got his master's degree. He's a cybersecurity analyst today. And so because there was very little available for family members during that time, the establishment of NAMI Metro allowed us to provide a lot of education and support and advocacy for family members who had a loved one with a mental illness.
We're joined by Leon Judd, the president of NAMI Metro, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found on namimetro.com. And so you mentioned you're the volunteer president of this organization. To what extent are you working with this organization to ensure that it's providing these programs and developing new programs that are meeting the needs of the mental health of people in the metro area?
Great question. So NAMI and all of NAMIs across the country do three things fundamentally. That's education, support, and advocacy for family members as well as individuals who are struggling with a mental health condition. So we have established quite an array of support groups for family members as well as individuals. And then the other thing that we do, in addition to the education programs that we provide, we have a lot of presentations that we do in the community. We go into businesses, we go into middle schools, high schools, anywhere that is interested in learning more about mental health awareness, what some of the signs and the symptoms are, what they can do, and just to learn more about what might be available in the community through NAMI Metro and others. And the other is acting as advocates through our helplines. We're able to get people directed to the kinds of services that we think they might be needing. We are an all-volunteer organization, like I mentioned earlier. So we have no office. All the work that we do is through our homes or into the hospitals, which are temporarily, because of the pandemic, a little bit hard to make contact with. So we're hoping that that breaks loose and we can move from the Zoom meetings that we're currently doing to face-to-face, which is certainly much more personal than the Zoom.
So among the many programs provided by NAMI Metro and provided by NAMIs throughout the U.S. Is the Families in Action program. Can you tell us about the Families in Action program, what services it provides to families and to individuals suffering from mental illness, and how people can access this program?
Yeah, Tyler, the Families in Action program is a 10-week family education program that meets 10 consecutive Wednesdays, and each week is a different educational session. It is also put on by family members who have lived experience to other family members who are going through some of the struggles. We have put over 2,500 family members through this educational program. This was something that was not available when this first came to light with my wife and I. So it was one of the things that was really on our radar screen to bring and make available for family members to help them get early education as to what they can do. The overall objective of the Families in Action is to help your loved one be healthy, happy, and independent. And we've had nothing but positive feedback over the years as a result of doing that, those classes. We do it twice a year in the spring and in the fall. The next class starts September 7th. It'll be done on Zoom again. Because we're still not able to get back into the hospital where we typically would do the family class. The advantage is that we have people that are able to come to the class that wouldn't normally be able to. Either they can't drive at night, or there are some people are even Zooming in from Florida, Ohio, other states where they have loved ones here in Michigan, but they're actually physically in another location. So it really does teach some really good tools and skills for family members to help them better deal with and help their loved one who may be having some serious problems in communications and getting along and those sorts of things.
We're joined by Leon Judd, the president of NAMI Metro on the Michigan Megacast. More information can be found about NAMI Metro by visiting its website at namimetro.org. That's namimetro.org. And so for those that are interested in the Families in Action program and would like to join in on the next meeting of that program, or are interested in other programs through NAMI Metro, what steps do they need to take to either sign themselves up individually or sign up a family member, or another loved one, or help them with that signing up process for any of these programs?
Yeah, the Families in Action is for the family members or caregivers specifically, and they can do it in two ways. They can either go online to namimetro.org, and on the resource tab of that website, you'll see something called Families in Action. There's a brochure that outlines the 10 weeks and an application form to get registered, or else they can email me at leonj@namimetro.org and let me know that they're interested, and we can get them on the waiting list. We already have people on the waiting list started out for September 7th class. These have always filled up. So they're obviously of help, but a lot of word of mouth is what helps in getting other family members to register for the class.
We're joined by Leon Judd, the president of NAMI Metro, serving the communities of Metro, Macomb, Wayne, and Oakland counties in the state of Michigan. More information can be found at namimetro.org. That's namimetro.org. And so what sort of affiliation does your organization have, or relationship does your organization have, this more localized chapter of NAMI, with the national organization? How does that communication then help to provide even better support to those in Metro, Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties?
Yeah, NAMI National is the largest mental health advocacy organization in the country. There is an office in every state. In Michigan, it's in Lansing, and we have 12 affiliates across the state of Michigan, including the UP. And NAMI Metro, Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb County is the one that covers those three counties. The interesting thing, or the good thing about NAMI as a national organization, is they provide the training for the signature programs that are out there for support groups, for the presentations like Ending the Silence that's taken into middle and high schools, like In Our Own Voice, which is a program where it's presented to businesses, colleges, universities. And so those programs are going to be the same no matter if you're in Michigan or if you're in California or if you're in Florida. People are going to be trained with the similar processes for these evidence-based programs. So we also do things locally here specifically. We'll get calls because it's Mental Health Awareness Month. We've had 16 events in the month of, in this month alone in May. And so there's a lot of interest, but we can also customize presentations. We may get a call from somebody wanting to do a presentation on teen depression or suicide prevention. So those are things that we can put together and bring to the community based on what it is that they have a specific interest in.
More information on programs, support groups, and the In Our Own Voice program as well by visiting NAMImetro.org. That's NAMImetro.org for more information. We're joined by Leon Judd, the president of NAMI Metro on the Michigan Megacast. And so as you're talking about these programs, you mentioned the training that goes into these programs. What sort of volunteer opportunities are there for people if they would like to help the organization on a volunteer basis and they don't necessarily have a need for or are seeking the services of NAMI Metro?
Yeah, we get people trained to be support group leaders for family support groups, as well as what we call connection peer-led support groups. These are, everything that NAMI does, I think I should have mentioned this, is peer-led. So if it's a family program, either education or support group, it is run by a family member who has a loved one with a mental illness. So it's lived experience, different than a professional, for example. Both are important, but different approaches and different understandings. The other is if it's a program for someone who is struggling with a mental health condition, those programs are run by individuals who are in recovery and have been trained to either run a support group or do some of the presentations that are put out by NAMI or some of the education. So we have quite a few people trained in like In Our Own Voice and some of the presentations. We're always looking for people who are in recovery, who are comfortable with being a facilitator and trained to be a leader. So you have to be a member of NAMI Metro, number one, and that's really simple and very inexpensive to be. And you become a member actually of the state organization as well as the national organization, and you get communications from all of those organizations if you are a member. The one area that is very difficult for us to find volunteers for and get trained are young people who are in recovery from mental illness. There is a program called Ending the Silence that we have that requires two presenters. One is a family member and one is an individual, a young person who has got lived experience that is willing to tell their story in a fashion that is laid out by NAMI National. And it's kind of hard. I think young people have a difficult time coming forward about their recovery story. But we'll typically get one or two, but we're always looking for those people. And we're always looking for people in recovery that are going to be comfortable in being a facilitator or a support group leader. This training that comes about is typically done twice a year. NAMI Michigan puts that training on, so it's in the spring and in the fall. And then we're kind of at their beck and call in terms of what trainings they're going to be putting on each in the spring and in the fall. But those are the two areas probably where we have the biggest need. We have people there now, but we can always use more in those two categories. That's support group leaders and young people to be trained to be Ending the Silence presenters.
We're joined by Leon Judd, the president of NAMI Metro, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. More information on NAMI Metro can be found at NAMImetro.org. That's NAMImetro.org. Leon, what are some other ways that if people would like to support NAMI Metro at this time, they can support the organization and the work that it does, facilitating these programs and these support groups for those suffering or in recovery from mental illness in the local area?
Yeah, the going to the website is probably one of the best ways. NAMImetro.org. There's an announcements page, and there's a lot of great information on the resource page. On the information links, we have probably too many links for resources there. But the two things that are coming up, July 31st, there is a fundraiser that is going to be the 17th year for that fundraiser. It's called Skins and Pins. Information you can get on it and sign up at skinsandpins, all one word, .org. And it is the last Sunday of July always, so it'll be July 31st. We're always looking for sponsors, and we're always looking for teams to sign up for that program. It's being held at Fox Hills Golf and Banquet Center in Plymouth, Michigan. And so we're in the midst right now working hard at getting ready for that to happen. The other thing that happens every year is the NAMI Michigan Walk. NAMI Metro has always got a large group of walkers. That walk is designed to raise awareness and raise funding for the affiliates and the state to be able to carry out the duties that they do, especially when you're an all-volunteer organization. We have a lot of requirements in that we don't have an office. All the money, just so you know, in NAMI Metro goes towards providing all the materials and the classes and the trainings that are needed right back into the organization. So we have no rent, we have no salaries, we have no utilities. So the only operating is like our helplines and those kinds of things that we have. But the NAMI Walk is going to be on September. I'm not sure. I think it's September 24th. I'm sorry. It's going to be September 24th, and this year, rather than at Belle Isle, the walk is going to be at Wayne State University. So we would encourage everybody to sign up. It'll soon be available for you to sign up on NAMImetro.org and also NAMI Michigan. They're just getting the links put in place now to be able to do that. But I would encourage you, if you sign up, please sign up for NAMI Metro. And we have a wonderful T-shirt that we'll give you if you're a first-time walker with us. And it's a yellow shirt with a big skunk on it that says "Stigma Stinks." And that's one of the things that we're always fighting to do, is to kind of eradicate the stigma, because we're trying to make the quality of life for individuals and family members in this world of mental health get destigmatized, because there's still a lot of stigma around mental illness.
Leon, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, good to be here, Tyler. Thank you.
More information, NAMImetro.org. That is going to do it for this week's editions of the Oakland County and Michigan Megacast. You can always find us on civiccentertv.com/megacast. On My Michigan TV, Steve Lato Live is coming up next, followed by Larry and Ronnie Live. We'll return with a new Megacast on Monday.